Hello there!
General Kenobi!
Welcome to It Starts With Star Wars. We are James, Nick, and Joe.
Hello.
Where we'll be talking all about Star Wars and other science fiction. And we will see where the Force takes us. Today we'll be focusing on lightsaber forms. But first...
we had some comments from some people.
Yeah, we did.
On some shorts that have not gone like ridiculously viral, but they've gone fairly viral, haven't they? Which is quite nice.
7,000 views.
7,000 views on our last one, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And we have our two products here to show you guys of what we have. James, do you want to show?
I will happily show one.
There you go. So, okay, so that one that James has got, and then we've got these ones here. They're two different kinds of sabers.
We just.
So I'll talk about these ones first. These are the baselit sabers from Saber Theory, I think. I don't know. And basically, it's just literally everything's in the hilt. You can probably whack them against each other. They're pretty good. That one's rattling a bit. It needs to be tightened up. But it's got loads of settings on it. I'm not going to go into exactly what they are, but that's what they are. They're the baselit sabers from Saber Theory. And yeah, they're pretty sick. They got loads
at a con, right?
We got them at Comic-Con. It might not have been Saber. It might not have been Saber Theory, but I think they do the same kind of lightsabers.
Right.
Anyway, I'd love to get some Saber Theory lightsabers. I think they do the best ones in the market.
I like that glow that you're getting on that video.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's good. That's literally what they look like.
It does.
So I'm looking at James's monitor over there, and they do look like that on camera. There is like, if you change the color of it as well, because these ones you can change the color of it.
Oh my god! Look at mine on
look at that.
camera.
So look at the change that's doing. That's so sick, man. Like, I love how good
I think yours actually looks better on screen than mine.
It does, only because you're putting it close to the camera, and that one is now a bit old.
Yeah, it is.
That's the older. That's like the most used one because I loved that color before I got a yellow lightsaber. But there we go. So you got these. I'll just save it on that color for now. But they do look really, really good on camera, considering it's just one light shining up that way. They do get a little bit darker when it gets up here. That's only because it is one light. But these are the proper, like, you can whack, you can hurl these at each other. So yeah, these are pretty decent. You can also, if I turn it off, it'll take a few seconds to turn off. But if I change the volume, there you go.
Volume
It's got
high.
like weird voice lines, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And
I'll turn off clash.
I've turned yeah. There are loads of other effects. Like, I've turned off the clash effects because when we do the videos, I don't know if anyone saw in the little YouTube short where I'm kind of bobbing around like a video game character. I'm using a green lightsaber on one of these, and there are points when the clash effect was actually on. So it would shine white.
Yeah,
and it was on a really high sensitivity as well. So there'll be sometimes it would be going through the air and it would just clash with nothing. So it would just flash white, and there were some shots where it's just white. As opposed to what it should have been, which was green. So you can turn the clash off, and because we were just filming a few of these a couple of hours ago, I turned the clash off for those. But no, you can set up all the clashing and all the sound effects of that stuff as well. Yeah, so those are the Saber Theory baselit ones, which we did by Comic-Con. Oi, shut up.
Yeah, there's one. There's one of the weird lines.
Dark
Have I said that before?
Dark Ages.
Oh no, because it.
Dark sword.
Oh,
Blue.
So yeah, well no, it's the sound effects of the Darksaber. So you can change it. So you can change the. Hang on, again, the clashes aren't on, buddy. The clashes aren't on.
I'm gonna try.
There we go.
I'm gonna
turn the sound
try.
off again. There you go. It's on mute. Right, the one that James has got though, we actually have no idea what company this is. So this one, as you can see in James,
Here's one I made earlier.
James's screen. It's literally, although they're a lot cheaper than those ones, because these ones are actually quite. They're more than £100. Let's put it at that.
Humble
and
brag.
those ones, we got 6 of those ones because it's literally only one button. And
Hello, my
there's
baby.
only
Hello,
one
my
color
honey.
per lightsaber, whereas those ones you can change the color. So that we got a green one, we got 2 blue, 2 red, and a purple. All right, mate. Stop being cringe.
Never.
Nah, be you, bro. Be you, bro. But I cannot remember for the life of me what the company is. We got it at Comic-Con October 2022, MCM Comic-Con. And I can't remember what the lightsaber company is called. There is a YouTube video of someone going around October 2020 Comic-Con and just viewing, and it's like a 20-minute video of just going in and out all those. I need to sit down and watch it to find the original company, because it is on there, and it's really
the company that was there. Is it the actual like company that was selling directly, or was it a vendor?
I think it was a company selling directly, or it might have been a vendor, but I don't know. But anyway, I'll have to look through that video and just find what the company's called, because they're really, really good for making the kind of videos that we do. They do look better than these lightsabers do, simply because it's LED lights going through the blade.
Yeah,
and it's like an indestructible plastic rod with LED lights in it, so it's like constantly light throughout the entire blade. Whereas this one, as you saw a second ago, does get darker slightly as it goes up here, but they still look good on camera. So yeah, if anyone knows what that company is for, or wants to look up that,
or just has any recommendations,
has any recommendation for like saber,
because I mean,
stuff.
I don't know what the
or
limit
if some saber company wants to sponsor
That'd
us
be
and
sick.
send us
Yeah, hell
lightsabers to fight with, that would be quality.
Yeah.
3 lightsabers, please. Thank you.
I wonder what the most like premium lightsaber you can get, like model lightsaber.
Like
I've seen some of the
2,000.
art sabers that go for like $2,000.
Fuck.
Those are
you can get a full set of Stormtrooper armor for £2,000.
I'm sure I can make some for like 200.
No, actually, it would still cost you in materials at least 300.
All right, fine. Sorry.
I would love to see a self-made Stormtrooper outfit from you.
Well, from me,
Yeah,
it would
from
just
you.
be paper.
It's just wrapped in toilet roll. Yeah.
Sarah's currently making a few cosplays for another project we're working on. We're working on a.
Well, we'll undisclose that at a later time, because I think that's quite cool. That's quite cool.
But she is doing. We are doing a. This isn't with Unit. This is with Tasha and Chris.
Oh.
We're doing a D&D TikTok series.
Cool.
And it's to do with this jacket here.
I thought it was a Harry Potter thing.
No,
yeah, I thought it was a Harry
Not
Potter
the Harry
thing as
Potter
well.
thing, but the thing on top of the Harry Potter
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Ah, okay.
This one, this jacket.
Oh, okay.
And I play a bard. And
Very cool.
essentially we go around doing fun
D&D stuff.
D&D sketches and stuff.
I like D&D. D&D's cool.
D&D is fun.
Okay, go on, Nick. Roll your dice.
Roll my dice. Okay.
Let's see
what happens when I roll the dice?
Well, it depends what you roll, Nick.
Well, I want to know what I'm getting into.
I don't know what this is either.
Just roll it.
Keep rolling.
If it gets to 20, it's going to be something. It happens, doesn't it?
Well, 20 is really good and 1 is really bad.
Okay. Oh God. 8.
Eat a can of beans. That's it.
Unheated.
Yeah.
Okay, 8.
Okay, we're getting a bit off topic. There you go, baby.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So I've got a couple of questions for you guys. You guys all played Force Unleashed, right?
Yes.
I haven't, but I've seen.
But you know the character Darth Ezra, and you know
Starkiller
effectively what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know how OP he is.
Yeah.
He pulls a freaking Star Destroyer.
Yeah. So Starkiller versus Kanan and Ezra, season 4 of Rebels.
Ezra.
So Ezra's season 1 Rebels, it's flat out.
He's a child.
He's kind of weak.
Yeah. But season 4 Rebels, he's
okay.
Quality.
Are we talking Ezra's made a plan? Has Ezra had time to prepare for Starkiller?
That's a good point.
Because because the whole reason he's able to beat Thrawn is because of his he's taken so much time to plan it, and he's thought out everything to beat Thrawn. So,
you say that, but
no, he came up with 6 different outcomes, maybe more. I mean,
he did, but one of them did include sacrificing.
I know, but then he messages Sabine and says, "Oh, hey Sabine, yeah, I had a load of options, and this was the one that I chose. Thanks, come get me, bye."
Have you seen Ahsoka?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Spoiler
alert.
But so, well, it's not. It's more of a.
No,
Rebels.
it's more just
He says it in Rebels. Come get me. And she's like, right, I've got to remember what is it I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So if Starkiller like just showed up, are we talking like good Starkiller, or are we talking like evil
We're
Starkiller?
talking just like OP level Starkiller. We're
Does
talking.
the power level differ?
We're talking about
like is this?
Yeah,
is
I was
it-
gonna say. I don't think it does. I think I think Starkiller in the Force Unleashed 1, not the Force Unleashed 2,
Okay, so
because he is more powerful in that. Because
Yeah.
it is the actual guy.
right. Okay, we're not going before he's like turned Darth Vader style. I can't. It's been a while.
Well,
since
to be
I played.
fair, he does use the dark side of the Force even when he's on the light side, because he
Yeah.
still uses a lot of Force lightning.
Yeah.
So I'd say you've played the level on the Death Star, the final level, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'd say that part, where how powerful he is there, which to be fair is like the rest of the game.
Yeah. So I mean, it really depends. Like I said, if they've had time to prepare, I'd go with Kanan and Ezra. But if it's a surprise attack, I'll go for Starkiller.
Yeah.
Like it really depends on.
Is that the whole thing? Is surprise attacks?
Well, no. It's more like, for example, at the end of season 1 in Rebels,
They face
Darth Vader shows up out of nowhere and just
wrecks them.
dominates
Right.
them. Like
They
it's very, very
and they
clever.
just
They're
feel.
alive.
And Starkiller beat Darth Vader on both occasions.
Right.
So yeah, so really, but then like we're talking about season 4, Ezra, and Ezra outsmarts the Emperor as well.
He
So-
doesn't defeat him though. He
No, he doesn't.
He also, like when in the World Between Worlds, in season 4 of Rebels,
Are there any whales
they're like-
around?
James,
Sorry. Sorry.
James, I love you. In the World Between Worlds, when it's Ahsoka and Ezra, and Sidious shows up, like just from outside of the World of Worlds, and he's like, "Please, can I come into the World of Worlds?" And they're like, "No." and then they have to he's trying to get through Sith sorcery, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Ezra and Ahsoka are just like, they're running for it. They are absolutely legging it. And Starkiller, or whatever his name is, Darth Vader's defeated the Emperor effectively. It would have been around that time in the timeline, wouldn't it, if it was canon? So I'm going to strongly say Starkiller, because let's not forget he's also a very, very intelligent warrior. He does plan as well, and especially in the later half of the Force Unleashed game, you can see how good he is at planning these attacks and stuff, and how good he is at planning like an offensive and a defensive and all that.
But Nick, are there any whales around?
Oh, always. It's
well,
hyperspace.
you have your answer. Ezra just wins.
I'm going to stick on Starkiller, I think he's just so ridiculously overpowered. And because he beat Sidious and Darth Vader together, it wasn't together, wasn't it? It was Darth Vader first, and then Darth
it was
Vader
one
lay
at a
crying
time.
in a corner, and then Sidious was next.
Well, hang on a minute. Can Ezra talk to the whales?
Yeah.
Okay. So can anyone talk to these whales?
I mean,
Because apparently
well, no,
you told me on a previous non-existent episode, Ahsoka can talk to the whales.
yeah.
These whales just chat to anyone?
So Ahsoka and Ezra in particular, they have a like almost like a seventh sense apart. Like their sixth sense is the Force stuff, and then the seventh sense is their animals thing. In the same way that Quinlan Vos can touch an object and know the recent history of that object.
Right.
So some Jedi have, or Force users have, these unique abilities, and Ezra's and Ahsoka's are to do with animals.
Right.
So they're able to sense and understand animals' thoughts and all of that. So no, not everyone can do it.
In what context would Starkiller? Because I'm right in remembering that these whales are in space.
Yeah.
What context would they be in for there to be whales nearby?
Well, to be fair, in season 4, you've not seen Rebels either, have you?
No.
Season 4 of Rebels, they're on Lothal.
Yeah.
Basically, Ezra calls them into the atmosphere.
Oh, so they
So
can
go into the apps.
okay. They don't just burn
They
up
don't
on
just
entry.
So you
That'd be pretty pointless, wouldn't it? Just like, and Ezra just brings him in, just like, come, my friends.
It's 100 whales fall from the sky.
It's on fire.
just Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Yeah, I
Galaxy
was
style.
thinking that.
Yeah. Suddenly, a sperm whale had appeared 50 miles above the surface of the planet.
And it thought to itself, "Oh no, not again."
No, that was the bowl of petunias. That
Oh,
was
sorry.
that was
Yeah.
agrojag. But the whale was just like, "Oh, I'm so excited! Wow! Look! Oh, what's that thing coming towards me? Very big. It's going to have a big round sound. Ground. Oh, I wonder if it'll be friends with me."
Sith.
No. Just like brings him. Oh well, we're fucked.
God, I wish we see that.
Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be so funny. Someone do an edit of that, please. Just all the space whales just falling.
Yeah, I'm going Team Whale then. I was going to go Starkiller, but I'm going. What's his name? Kanan.
Kanan and Ezra. So
Yeah.
Kanan is Ezra's master, who's very wise.
Right.
But I don't think
And he's blind.
He's also
he speak
Darth
to the
Maul
whales?
blind him. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
He's just very wise.
I see.
I'm going to stick with Starkiller because Starkiller brought down a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but if he brings down the whales,
I mean, all
on
he has
top
to
of
do
it-
is reach out and just go like that, and then they are on fire.
Okay, realistically.
but they're still flying towards him.
Yeah. No, he's not. He's like 4 push away, down, boy.
And then it just rains
I
whales.
think Joe wants to say something realistically.
Yeah, realistically, I think Starkiller wins. But for the whale memes, I'm going to say Kanan and Ezra.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So James, you're going for Kanan and Ezra.
Yeah.
I'm going for Starkiller. You
Okay.
got to choose one.
Whales.
Wales.
The whales.
So you're saying Kanan and Ezra.
Yeah, I'm going to say
All right.
Kanan and
Okay.
Ezra.
So I lose there. So Starkiller versus Kanan and Ezra. Kanan and Ezra win apparently. What do you guys think? Let us know what you think of that one.
Tell us who would win and why is it the whales?
Why is it the
Why
whales?
is it the whales? Okay, another one. This is the second one that we're going to go on to talk about the lightsaber forms and combat. So, Count Dooku versus Darth Maul. I'm going to straight up say it's Count Dooku.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Lord Tyrannus.
I mean,
Darth Maul.
Maul is a more interesting character, I'd say, but obviously, that's not what we're going off.
Well, the thing is, I would say it is what we're going off. So I think, and for that reason, we can discuss his characters at length because I have a lot of reasons why I think it would be Count Dooku.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because from the was it Jedi Tales?
Tales of a Jedi.
Yeah.
Tales of a Jedi. The
The
Count Dooku character was explored a lot more. Clone Wars did do it. I remember we were talking about this with Ben the other weekend, which we're going to get to later as well. How much it's just added depth to his character, Tales of a Jedi. Because in Clone Wars, they kind of did him dirty. It was just kind of like, oh, I am the stereotypical bad guy. Oh, he didn't do what I want. Kill him.
Master
And all of that.
Kenobi.
There we go. But I do think he would win against Maul. I do think he would win. I think there was a fight between. There was like a massive before the Clone Wars was cancelled in 2014. There was scheduled for production in the final season before it got cancelled for there to be a massive skirmish between Darth Maul, Asajj Ventress, and
Count Dooku.
No. Darth Maul,
Maul's brother?
Asajj Ventress. No, because he was killed by this point.
Right.
Versus General Grievous, Count Dooku, and Sidious, and there was someone else in there on Darth Maul Asajj Ventress' side, and I cannot remember who it was. But that was scheduled for production, and then because of the cancelled thing, it just got deleted. But it basically ended up with the three of them having to escape Sidious, Count Dooku, and General Grievous.
Right.
I think but that I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I just know that was one of the plots that was going to be there.
Yeah.
Because obviously the last time we saw Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, well, until it got redone in 2020, was Darth Maul being captured by Sidious. after killing Savage.
Okay. So here's my argument. Are we talking Maul before he was cut in half by Kenobi? No. Because in all seriousness, like when it comes to the Force, you have more power in you, the more actual natural stuff. Like for example, Anakin, when even with the loss of his arm, loses Force ability, and then when he loses all his limbs and he's Vader, he has a lot less power.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So you've got less midichlorians in your body.
Yeah.
Basically, yes. So are we talking more lower half body amputation, or are we talking post, as in?
Well, the thing
body?
is, you got to bear in mind, although Maul will have a lot more Force abilities when in Episode 1, he was much more intelligent and much cleverer in terms of picking his battles. I don't know, much more clever in terms of picking his battles. Like, you saw him go against, like, he trained Savage and he was like, I'm the more powerful one, I'm going to be teaching you.
Yeah.
And they went up against each other and Maul just wipes the floor with him.
Yeah.
So I think Maul technically is more powerful during the Clone Wars. I think he's at his peak during the Clone Wars.
Okay, how about this? Peak Count Dooku versus a combination of peak Maul. So imagine him before Kenobi cutting in half, but with the intelligence of the later Maul.
Okay. So peak Count Dooku is going to be like towards the end of the Clone Wars, and just before he died. Again, I still think it's going to be Count Dooku, and I say that because, and you can see how intelligently he fights. Whereas Darth Maul's got a huge ego. You see a lot of the fights that he does in the Clone Wars, especially against Obi-Wan and the other Jedi, are like, especially with Ahsoka as well. He's not really keen on killing them. He's not really keen on finishing the fight, and I feel that's going to have a massive part of it. Whereas Dooku he needs to get the job done, and not only that, he fights extremely well. If you look at the last fight of the Clone Wars he has between Obi-Wan and Anakin on the Pike planet. I can't remember exactly what planet it is. He knows Anakin's offense is incredible. He knows Obi-Wan's offense is pretty shit. But he knows Anakin's defense is not as good as Obi-Wan's defense. And Obi-Wan's defense is pretty impenetrable. So what he does, and you'll see, like, there's so many analytics of these fights on YouTube of just how well he plays it. He keeps Obi-Wan on the offensive by barely attacking him, but constantly going at Anakin, so he's not got any chance to fight back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he, while fighting them both at the same time, he fights so cleverly because he knows his opponents. And I feel like with Maul, he's not that. He's just a body of rage. That's what Sidious taught him to be, and that's what his downfall is. I feel like he's just throwing everything at him, whereas, especially with the fighting style that Count Dooku uses, which we're going to talk about later, he's so efficient in the way that he does everything, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, I was under the impression, even though he is like a rage-filled person, that he was like a master plan kind of manipulator.
He does become that a little bit, but in terms of his battles and actual fighting styles, he's just trying to prove himself. In the same way that in the Kenobi series, when you see the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin when they were younger, as a training battle, it's like Anakin constantly trying to prove himself and prove that he's better than everyone. Whereas Obi-Wan's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
You think you've won. Here's your lightsaber. There you go.
Yeah.
And I think that would be exactly the same between Count Dooku and Maul. I think Maul will just have too much of an ego and he'd want to taunt. And in those moments of trying to taunt, because he's physically stronger than Count Dooku. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying Count Dooku would play it so much more effectively because he was growing up and training in a time where the Sith weren't a thing. He was a Jedi where lightsaber sparring was non-existent.
Yeah.
But he chose a lightsaber combat style that made that was focused on lightsaber combat. It wasn't focused on deflecting and fighting blaster fire. Blaster fly. Oh God! Are you sure you're the dyslexic one?
How much have you had to drink today?
Nothing. I'm
Get us man a drink.
Yeah. So he was the only Jedi using Form 2, which is mainly a dueling and dueling efficiently style. And he was like the one who mastered it, like in the same way Obi-Wan mastered Sarisu.
Yeah. But we should make our decision like now, because you were just talking about dueling style. And
Yeah. Sorry, we are going. Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say is Count Dooku's style. I feel like the way he mastered that, just purely like fighting with lightsaber style, I feel like he'd get more, and he's not got anything to prove because he's already a Jedi Master. He's already like shown that he is to everyone he needs to.
Yeah.
So I think he would play it safer, and I think he would just be like, what's the quickest way I can end this?
Okay.
And how can I like in the same way when and also you see him in this fights with Anakin, he is constantly taunting Anakin in their fights, constantly, and I feel like that would pressure Maul into just being more and more chaotic.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that, definitely.
So that's my view on it personally. I think Count Dooku would absolutely wipe the floor with Maul.
So okay, your vote Count Dooku, James.
I agree with Nick, but I also feel like we're sort of. I think maybe it would be. I think Dooku probably would win because he didn't lose against Anakin. He was told to take a dive.
Yeah.
You know, so he it's a tricky one for me because I know Maul is super intelligent, but he's also so easy to basically just get into a blind rage.
His arrogance is very easy to manipulate.
Whereas the sophistication of Dooku is just a lot, and he is very, very just he's old and mature. The only reason Dooku's
he's not even a true Sith.
He's not a true Sith. He hasn't got the
Sith eyes.
He's a grey Jedi.
I wouldn't say. I think he's a little bit darker than grey Jedi.
Okay, he's a dark Jedi then. Yeah. Really, if we're really going into it. Yes, he can use Sith lightning. Yes, he can use, certain abilities.
He's more a political idealist, as Keely Moody said in episode 2.
He's trying to create a world. The whole reason he becomes a Sith is to try and bring down the Republic, which is he is right, is corrupt, but is corrupted by the very person he's
serving.
Helping.
Corruption like yours must be eradicated.
So it sort of confuses me, like why he's helping the person that is quite clearly doing the corrupting. But then again, if you look at the sequels kind of explain it with the whole the weapons, arms dealers and stuff like that. Funding both sides and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm going to say Dooku. I'm going to say Dooku. I think Nick is right. I think he would bait Maul into like a blind rage and then zap him with Force lightning because Maul can't do Force lightning.
We've not seen him do it, but that doesn't mean he can't do it.
I know, but
I feel like he would do it though.
Yeah, I feel like that's something he would just do. I feel like his skills, Dooku's skills in lightsaber are formidable, but he says to Yoda, "Let's see how our powers in the Force."
Yeah.
So I feel like he'd go Force lightning. Maul would go into blind rage. Then he would taunt something like, "I heard you were beaten by Kenobi. Did you know that I was his master's master?" Or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Maul would be like, "You trade Kenobi!"
Yeah.
And then he would just like,
Kenobi. I love Sam Witwer so much. Sorry, okay, what do you think? Are you going to stick with Maul?
I think, like I said, I think Maul's a cooler character, but no, I think you're right. I suppose, he's more experienced. He's got his head at least
screwed on.
Screwed on at least when it's in the present situation.
Yeah.
Like maybe if Maul jumped him like an ambush, or like in a grand plan, I could see him winning. But I guess on like a one-on-one stage, it's probably Dooku.
Even with Dooku being jumped, though, like we saw what happened when
Ventress
Ventress and the witches
I was thinking about
tried
that.
to jump him, and he was blind.
Yeah,
like, they blinded him to their presence, and he was still fighting with his eyes shut.
Yeah,
3 fairly well-skilled lightsaber users,
and against Ventress as well.
She was also done dirty in the Clone Wars. She's actually like quite a powerful character, and they just said they kept sending her up against Obi-Wan and Anakin together, 2 of the most powerful Jedi in the Order, and Dooku kept sending her against those two, and just like, I keep failing. Yeah, because it's Anakin and Obi-Wan. You idiot.
It's the bald harpy, as Ahsoka once said.
They've got plot armor. You're not going to
win. Right. Okay. So now on to the main event time.
Oh, the main event. Okay.
Okay. Now this is more of a question that I'm going to ask you two guys, because I know what I would say with this. So I'm going to go through each of the 7 lightsaber styles, name some characters that actually use these, what this saber style does, who uses them, their advantages and their disadvantages. So Shicho, the most basic and simple concept that every form is actually based on, because it was the first form of lightsaber combat. It basically just goes about the 6 areas of the body, so you can attack the head, you can go torso, right and left, lower, right and left, so effectively the legs, and then you've got the back. I don't know how you'd get to the back. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not. I feel like it's more of a stab thing than anything else. But yeah,
that doesn't seem very Jedi-like.
No, I know.
Just shanking someone in the back.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you got. What are you doing to me? I think it's more. I think it's more covering all areas. So, like, if you're stood, but even if you're going like that, and you could.
Well, isn't that Kit Fisto's like pose where he sort of like
pretty much
puts his lightsaber behind him and it's like.
Oh. Anyway, those are the 6 like areas.
Yeah,
I'm assuming 6 is something to do with stabbing. But the weakness is that it can be very, very predictable and uses lots of sweeping motion, so you can see the lightsaber coming a mile away.
Yeah, it's broadcast. Yeah.
So, but
you might get a spinning person screaming, going at you and cutting you into like 2 pieces.
Like Grievous. Or the Emperor.
Idiots. But Kit Fisto uses it, and Kit Fisto is badass. So
and gets killed by the Emperor in 5 seconds.
Yes, that is true. But it took him longer than the other 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, to be fair, so that's the first one. Now, Makashi. Now, this is specifically for dueling other lightsabers. This is the one I was talking about earlier with the Count Dooku one. It cancels out all the predictable sweeping motions of Form 1. It is much more precise and efficient, allows user to duel with minimal effort. So, if you'll see, like, I think you can especially see this in the fights with Anakin and the one against Ventress in the Clone Wars, when Dooku's just using such minimal effort to fight. He's using kind of more like swooping with his motions with his hand rather than actually like swinging the sabers around. That's why it's like
lightsabers curved.
Yeah, so that's why he made a curved lightsaber. So he's got less effort to get the lightsaber round to his opponent. So yeah, there's that. The only drawback is that it is incredibly inefficient compared for defending against blaster fire. So you'd have to learn some other form of lightsaber combat to be able to counteract that.
Or just be Kylo Ren and stop the blaster fire.
Yeah, with your hand. Yeah. And yeah, so Count Dooku and Asajj Ventress use those.
Right.
Use those forms.
That's kind of weird because like I don't picture Asajj Ventress using that style. Like in my mind, like at least how they portray her.
Well, I think she's meant to be mostly going against other Force users. That's what Count Dooku wanted her to do. So she went for the lightsaber combat that was for fighting other lightsaber users. And it suits. She's got curved lightsabers as well. So, yeah, maybe that's why. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why in particular.
Why does she have yellow lightsabers now?
We can go into that another time.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that comes.
We haven't got time for that. I've got a book. You can read it. Right. Now, number 3, Sarisu. Now, this is meant to be known as like the purest Jedi form because it is a purely defensive form of lightsaber combat. It's developed to maximize the defense against the efficiency and the advantages of Makashi, which is ironic because Obi-Wan uses it and he got defeated by Dooku every single time.
Yeah. My speciality.
Yeah.
Sith Lords are our speciality.
Yeah, so it's meant to cover also the defense against long range weapons, which is something that Makashi had a flaw in. So it's incredibly effective against lightsabers and blasters. You need to have the disadvantage of this is you need to have a lot of stamina and patience because it's the main idea of it is defensive until a really strong opening for attack presents itself. So someone could be absolutely battering the shit out of you, and you'd be just playing defensive, playing it safe,
and then when you
and
see
you'd have
those
to
footage,
have to wait until that. So yeah, but that's because it's not an aggressive form of lightsaber fighting. That is the purest like Jedi form.
Yeah.
It's not.
Wait until you have the high ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. So Obi-Wan uses that one, and he's also brilliant. Yeah.
Hello there.
Now, number 4, Ataru. So fast-paced and acrobatic. It relies on the momentum of the movements of your body, basically. So when you see Yoda twirling about, that's the style that he's using, Ataru. Use momentum to effectively hurl the lightsaber against your opponent, and it's developed to overwhelm. So it's meant to overwhelm whoever you're fighting.
Right.
The disadvantage of it is that it's not useful in prolonged combat or confined spaces. You imagine Yoda jumping around, it's like, ow, my head. Just, ow.
I mean, it's lucky he's small.
Yeah.
Imagine someone bigger doing that.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Ahsoka, to be fair.
Mm.
But she's also quite small, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it uses a lot of energy and needs more stamina than any other form. And it's only really effective against one opponent. So yeah, you got Yoda and Ahsoka. They both use acrobatics quite a lot, and because of her size, I think was the reason why, and this lightsaber form was the reason why Ahsoka was quite good when she was going up against Grievous, because she could just backflip out of the way.
Yeah.
And like get acrobat through tiny, like the first fight they had on the station where it's like the traitor droid, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like she's able to get through those shells because she's small and can just jump through them. Because she developed those acrobatics, and I think that's what basically will save her against Grievous. So it is definitely effective.
I can safely say I won't be using that one because I'm like 6'2", so it only works for small people.
Yeah, true. Right, number 5. So Xian and Gemso. So they're effectively the same style, but they're slightly adapted for different situations. So Xian is more adapted for blaster defense and attacks against blaster opponents, and then you got Gemso for lightsaber combat. It's developed to counter the flaw of Sarisu, and basically end a duel faster. So if you're getting tired after using Sarisu, just use Gemso to like basically get the upper hand.
There's a rock paper scissors going on here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
was it Sarisu?
That's how well thought out these are. That's why I like it so much. So afterwards, instead of having to wait for an opening, you'd have to effectively just start dominating your opponent. It's still defensive as well, and so it tends to be a variation of using heavy attacks, defense attack. Usually, specifically goes in heavy attack, then defense, then a counter attack. Usually, so that's, and you actually see Anakin doing quite a lot of that. You see him doing that against Barriss Offee, when Ahsoka gets like framed and stuff.
Yeah.
So you actually see him putting that into it and using his physical strength to overpower her.
Yeah.
And that's the one flaw of this one, is that you need to be very physically strong to be able to master it.
Right.
So I'm out.
Yeah, I think we all are too.
Yeah.
I suppose is that why he sort of adapts it when he turns into Darth Vader, because he's like got the strong strength from.
Anakin does use GMSO most of all, and he is quite physically fit in the Clone Wars still. He's still quite strong. As is Plo Koon. Like Plo Koon uses this style as well. I think this one would be a good one to do though, as long as you're constantly working out and eating right. and
Yeah.
Just everything
just
we're not
making
doing.
sure you're strong. Because this is what also Siassi Tin This is also what Siassi Tin uses in the fight between Sidious, and he dies straight away. So
Just going, back to 3 Sarisi.
yeah,
Because in what's the first Star Wars called?
Phantom Menace.
No, the very first one.
Oh, A New Hope.
Yeah, A New Hope. When he's killed on the Death Star, obviously he goes back into that classic pose, doesn't he? Like, am I misremembering? But I'm pretty sure because he goes into like the subtle movements. He goes into, is it Makashi? Like
What, Obi-Wan?
yeah.
I haven't seen New Hope. No, it's the fight that was done. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the fight in the 70s that was done.
Yeah, they probably didn't.
They didn't have any of this. They were just
true.
like, let's do it. He's just going
And just remember that.
but he might have done. He might have done.
He was a lot older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would have had to learn some Makashi to make him more efficient.
Alec McGuinness was a much older gentleman at that point.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we can. Forgetting that this stuff didn't exist when those films were made, I think if we do apply those to this, I think when he was in his training with Qui-Gon and Yoda on Tatooine, I think he would have had to learn some Makashi because of his aging body.
Yeah.
I think he would have had to do that. That's just my own personal view. You can agree with that.
Because when he fights Darth Maul,
he's really going at it.
yeah, because doesn't he switch styles? He's like,
I don't know.
He switches. I know he uses.
He gets more aggressive, definitely.
At some point, he uses Yoda's. Not Yoda's style. He uses.
he starts.
I know at some point he uses Qui-Gon's style.
Yes, so he had mostly used Qui-Gon style, but he also uses a bit of Sarisu, and because the style that I can't remember the style that Qui-Gon uses, it doesn't have many defensive capabilities, and that's why I think Qui-Gon lost because
he
got stabbed.
He did.
He did get
And
stabbed.
then suddenly a stab wound wasn't fatal anymore.
Yes. Oh my God. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
Instead of stabbing, he should have swiped. He should have.
Yeah.
His opponent got cut in half, but he still survived.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Walking off.
So Star 6. We've got 2 more to go. So Star 6. So this one is basically a jack of all trades one. So it's basically if you're not that force sensitive, but you've been inducted into Jedi Order because you have some force sensitivity, then you would probably learn this one because it's basically like a jack of all trades. You can it's got no specific weaknesses. It uses techniques is mainly from Form 2 and Form 4, which were Makashi and Ataru. So you've got some blaster defensive capabilities, and you've got some saber fighting capabilities. But it also uses a little bit more of creativeness as well. So it's very, very effective to be combined with force attacks. So and it's also particularly effective for multiple blade use. So for the Temple Guards and the Inquisitors, who weren't particularly force sensitive, they were force sensitive. They weren't like Ahsoka and Anakin force sensitive.
Yeah.
So Sabine level force sensitive, right?
Probably something like that, around that, yeah. So this was a perfect lightsaber form for them to use because of the lightsabers they used and because of their force sensitivity they had. The weaknesses, although it had no specific weaknesses, it didn't have any specific advantages either.
Yeah.
And you'd have to be quite creative to make this form effective. So you'd have to be quite creative in the way you move, in the way you would combine force attacks with it. So yeah, that's all I can really say about it. You can see how it's used with the I guess that's why the Inquisitors have those spinning lightsabers, because they can use those creatively with the style.
And they can be helicopters.
Yeah, and they can fly.
Such a ridiculous part.
That is a bit. Yeah,
it is so stupid.
Force flying.
I love that episode on Malastare. Is it Malastare? No, it's on
Malachor.
Malachor. That's the one. I don't know. It's a planet that sounds like that.
Sure, it's Malachor.
But that bit was just like, oh my God. It's a bit silly, isn't
It
it?
is a bit, yeah.
But we're talking about Star Wars. Most of it is silly. I love
Imagine General Grievous doing
it.
that. That would be like
that would be sick.
Yeah.
He'd have 4
he
pillars.
could literally turn into a helicopter, and he's just like,
And not just a normal helicopter, those fucking military helicopters.
yeah.
Well, just think, Nick, what happens like a couple of scenes later.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's sick.
Ahsoka. Anakin.
Anakin, I won't leave you. Moving on. So, number 7. So, Juyo. We're going to Vapad in a second. A version of it, but Juyo. Juyo is the most vicious and aggressive form, and it's the only one that we can never really do because it literally relies on the dark side of the Force. So it actually takes in.
Speak for yourself. I'm evil as fuck.
No.
Well, I take money from charities. I steal it. You know those poppy boxes that they have?
Oh, we're gonna get cancelled now.
I steal them.
Oh God. Oh.
Just to clarify, I do not do that. Do not
do that.
That's awful.
That's a joke.
You know what's really bad about Slough though? This is play.
Oh, here we go. Everything. Everything. End of conversation.
We have a war memorial in the centre of Slough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's where the Uber drivers park their scooters when they're collecting food. Just generally on top. Like there's a load of reefs, and they've got their scooters parked on top of the reefs.
Side note.
That's just how disrespectful Slough is.
That's bad.
I love it. Oh God.
They fought and died for that Deliveroo.
Apparently so. Apparently so.
Anyway, so yeah. Juyo, I mean, we in the real world cannot use it because it relies on the dark side of the Force within Star Wars, if that makes sense. So
no.
What? No? What do you mean?
Yeah,
no.
We can't use it because it relies on the Force. Like you just said, we can't use it in real life because it's the fucking Force. Of course, we can't use it.
That's why I said it. But he was like, "Nah, I'm evil as fuck. I could use it."
Yeah. I said if I was evil.
Yeah, no. If you were,
Okay.
you could use it. That's what I mean.
Okay. So you're just trying to say that we're good people.
No, I was. No, I'm not trying to say that
he's
at all.
saying that we're Sabine level forceless.
No. I'm saying we live in the real fucking world, guys, and it's terrible.
I hope you know I'm now a member of the Jedi religion. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, all right,
Oh,
fine.
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a logical Jedi.
can't you? Yeah.
Whatever, guys. Whatever. But it feeds from the dark side of the Force. It feeds from your emotion.
Yeah.
It essentially lets the Force take control. So primarily used by dark side users.
Right.
It's
makes the wind
very I'll get to that in a second. It's very, very dominating and difficult to defend against. Which is why like a lot of Jedi would lose to someone like Sidious because he heavily uses it.
Yeah.
And why Mace survived in combat.
That's what I'm getting to next. So Mace Windu developed his own. He developed his own lightsaber style called Vapad, which is based on Juyo, but it reflects the dark side of the user back onto the person. So it's like manipulating the Force in a certain way, the dark side energy of the user back onto them.
Anakin,
please help. That's also why he's got a purple lightsaber, because he has a slightly darker side to him, and he also uses other people's dark side.
Right.
So it's like a combination of blue and red.
Okay.
So that's why he has a purple lightsaber.
Anakin, the Jedi are taking over.
So the disadvantages of this, it does have little defensive capabilities, and also if your anger, which can be used as a spark, becomes blind rage, you're effectively just turning into chaos, and that can be manipulated against you, which is actually what Mace Windu worked out about you, because he was researching the style. It's like, I can use this. And that's why I think he won against Sidious in episode 3.
Hands down, he did.
I don't think, because he knew the style so well, and he knew dark side users. He'd done so much research on it. I think he just got Sidious, and he's like, I know how to get this guy.
What form does Sidious use?
He uses all 7.
Oh.
I think he uses all of them, but he mainly uses the 7th one in a manipulation of all of them. But yeah, like Yoda and Sidious and what's his name? Sindralig are the only ones who have mastered all 7 styles of lightsaber combat.
Okay. Which one's Sindralig?
Sindralig was effectively the head of lightsaber combat training in the Jedi Temple.
Okay.
Was that the old guy from Clone Wars that Ahsoka becomes friends with? and then we see him again.
No, that's not him. You do see him in the Clone Wars though. You see him in Episode 3 on the hologram where Anakin is slaughtering children.
All right.
Yeah, when Anakin's got a youngling by the throat, he's like fighting this guy. And Anakin
Nick,
defeats him.
I think you've disappeared.
Oh, have I disappeared?
Yeah.
So, where were we?
You were finishing off your talk about...
Yes, so Mace Windu does use Geo, but it's effectively a lighter side version of it that uses the Force power of something else. Now, my question to you guys, what lightsaber form would you use and why? Or would you use a combination of several?
I would learn all of them.
I don't think you've got the time. If you had to pick at least, you can only pick at 2 at the most. You to master, because unless you'll live to 900 years old, you're not going to be able to do it. Or you just train every day.
So you're saying that I can live in the Jedi in the universe. So I say that I have.
Okay, I'm gonna just say which 2 would you do? Which two would you learn? Which 2 would you combine, or which one would you?
Well,
do?
I feel like Mace Windu's Vapad is probably a good one to have, because being able to turn dark side abilities against themselves is probably very, very useful. So I feel like I'd go for that. Would be my first one. And the next one, I wouldn't want to use the actual dark side, so I feel like the next one I would probably use is probably a combination between that and Obi-Wan.
So the Sarisu, the defensive style and the offensive, 2 very different ones to put together.
Yeah, but I feel like being able to master
the
defense, because theoretically Obi-Wan style counters Count Dooku and Ventress, theoretically.
Yeah.
But combining that with the styles that Mace Windu creative of taking their dark side abilities away, and combining that with the defensive aspect, imagine that suddenly you're taking their force powers away, and then you're defending against all their strikes. They're sort of putting all their might into you, and you're absorbing all their powers and blocking all their blows. They're going to run out of energy. Because the thing that keeps them going is their dark side abilities. But
you've also got to bear in mind that I'm not slanting that at all. I'm just saying, with Sarisu, you've got to be very, very patient. So it can tire you out to patiently that. But also, Vapad is also very energetic. It's not as energetic as Jimso and Ataru?
Yeah,
but it is pretty. It's pretty you got to be pretty aggressive with it.
I know, but I feel like if you're getting tired, you can go back onto Obi-Wan's more defensive style.
That's true.
And then you can swap between the 2. Whereas
recuperate.
Having 2 very energetic ones would just seems a bit silly. So having one energetic, one defensive. When you're starting to get tired, block.
Yeah,
I've recovered a bit. Force power, block, force power, and suddenly your enemy is you're using your enemy's power against them. You're defending against dark side.
Yeah.
This is theoretically just to beat someone who's a dark sider. Mace Windu style to take away their force powers, and Obi-Wan style to block against their blows. That is my theory. There you go. That's my 2.
Cool.
So I mean, if we're going off personality wise, I'd say Neiman. Because I feel like I'm a jack of all trades. I'm master of none, but I'm generally
just that one, or would you combine it with something else?
Well, that's if I was going off.
It's also Neiman's pretty good for multiple lightsabers, having a dual saber or or several lightsabers. Would you have that, or would it just be?
Yeah, that's okay. Like I was gonna say is if we were going off personality wise, that's probably what I'd be. But if I'm getting to pick. If I can just choose, Ataru.
6'2" guy just jumping around. I love it.
And what would be a funny one to combine with that? Probably
so funny.
Probably that one, and also Makashi. The most movement and the least movement.
I love it. That's brilliant. Yeah. Me personally, I would like to be the best of both worlds, because Anakin is really good as offensive, and Obi-Wan's really good defensive. So I'd like to think that I could do Gemso and Sarisu. However, I know that I'm not that strong. So although I would like to have Gemso, I feel like Makashi would be more mine. I feel like I could be better at doing the more precise movements and combining that with Sarisu better. Because both of them require little effort, but at the same time, I feel like Ataru, I'd have a big weakness to Ataru because that is meant to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And if I'm used to not being that energetic from those two styles, I feel like that could get me quite well. And I also think I don't know. I think it would be pretty good against Juyo and Neiman.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would think. So I think I'd be worried about someone who had Ataru, but I think apart from that, yeah. So Sarisu and Makashi, I think I'd have.
Nice.
So yeah, if you got Ataru, I've got a 6'2" guy. I'm running.
You can't handle me. I'm too much.
You can't handle the truth. Right, just quickly before we go, we got 5 minutes left. So, Joseph and myself went down to a friend's at the weekend. Well, 2 weekends ago. And we watched Lord of the Rings all the way through.
We did. All 12 hours of it.
All 12 hours, extended editions. And during those films, what did you have playing, Joe?
Oh, yeah. So I put on a 1 hour mix of Lego Yoda dying mixed with silence. So just like at random intervals.
Every 10 minutes or so.
Wait, you do your impression. Yours is better. Just every now
just
and then.
Lego Yoda dying.
Which that wasn't. We're wrong. That wasn't.
That was when
we were watching.
We watched Star Wars the next day.
Yeah,
and we just had that on during that.
Yeah,
that's funny. Right. Okay. Do you want to save the rest of it for next episode?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
We can't really go into it.
So we've got a few things ready for next episode. Thanks everyone for listening.
Do you want
if
to
you're
read
watching,
comments? Like people leaving you feedback.
Yeah. If give us comments. Give us some feedback. What lightsaber style would you have and why? If you want to see us using some lightsabers, we do. If you haven't seen already, we do some little lightsaber shorts. Me and James and Joe, I want you to join, but you said you didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I'll just stand off to the side and I'll watch. I can't do the flips.
No.
Like I said, I'm a 6'2" guy. There's no way I'm doing that.
So yeah, we're on TikTok, Twitter. No, we're not on Twitter. Sorry, Twitter doesn't exist anymore. We're not on it anyway.
No. Either way.
So we're on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. That's James's fiance in the background. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
But yeah, so follow us on our socials. See these little short videos. And thank you for watching. And this, if you do watch it, if you don't watch it, then
thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for listening. Let us know what we should discuss next. Star Wars or anything else related, unrelated, whatever. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Live long and prosper.
Thanks for listening.
Let the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Au revoir.
Don't kill anyone.
I'm one with the force, and the force is with me.
I'm one with the force. Force with me.
Okay, that's enough. Let's go, guys. Hi all, Nick from the future here. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means the world to us that you would enjoy it, and we hope that you stay for some more. Please subscribe and comment if you disagree with anything we said or we've got stuff wrong, and any suggestions what we could cover in a future video. We have Discord, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. So please follow all of us to keep up what we're doing. We're most active as ourselves, the three of us, on Discord. So that's where, if you want to talk to us, that's where we're going to be.